Welcome, people. Welcome to the first episode of Next Subject. And this is hosted by Dutchess and Siah. So, how was your weekend so far?
My weekend so far has been nice, and yours?
Mine has been good. It's hot, but got the AC
I was gonna
going
say the
on.
hot.
Yeah, it's a scorcher. It says it's going to be hot tomorrow, too.
It's gonna be hot
So,
for the end of the week.
yeah, so we'll get through it. So we got a hot topic tonight. So let's get right to it. What's the first subject?
Okay, the first subject that's been going on in social media and entertainment news is Neo and his wife
Mr.
separating.
Smith.
Or yes, so I think it was Wednesday that it came out that she put something up on Instagram about basically being lied to for 8 years, and that people can stop coming to her with information because he's no longer her concern. And then on Friday, I believe she filed for divorce. And he asked on Wednesday for the public to give them privacy so they can deal with their matters behind closed doors.
Mhm.
So no one, I mean, once it's out in public, there is no closed doors. I mean, you can handle your stuff, but everyone's going to talk about it once it becomes public.
So my question is to you is how does a couple or an entertainer and the entertainer's wife, who is said to be an entrepreneur, what's her name, Crystal Renee Smith, how do they live their life behind closed doors, behind a curtain, when he's basically lived his whole entertainment life um, under public scrutiny? So is it fair or is it even possible for him to request this type of courtesy from the public, from society?
He can ask it. He's not going to receive it. Once you put it out in public or it comes out in public, it is for public consumption. Everyone's going to have their opinion, which we're going to have, and everyone's going to talk about it. Once it becomes a public a public thought, or it comes out in the media, it's no longer private. What you do behind closed doors after that is private, but if somebody shares, it's out for public consumption.
So perhaps Neo should have concentrated on keeping his private business behind closed doors to begin with, and what he did behind closed doors, he should have kept doing it with his wife. So allegedly, the split is due to uh, a child, another child outside of their marriage. What do you know
Yes,
about that?
that's that's what's out there. I'm not sure if it's true, but I mean, it goes to her saying that he's been cheating on her for 8 years unprotected. So it kind of I could draw that conclusion that it's probably true.
So when she
It's
said
probably true.
so when she said there's been infidelity for 8 years and unprotected, is she referring to um he hasn't been protecting her because it's been brought to the public's attention about his affairs, or is there, could one speculate that there's been some type of other issues going on, such as STDs of sorts?
I would draw the conclusion that it's STDs and or children.
Mm.
Children are are the result of you having unprotected sex. So I'm gonna say it could be both.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
probably, and she said something about like paying women. So he he's messing with people just raw dog and the wrong type of people. If you're having unprotected sex with people you're paying, I'll have to question why you even married.
Well,
Why you in a relationship? You want to be single. Be single. Nobody's holding you to that. And
so
I don't
as a
understand why men do that.
so as a man, I'm going to give you the male perspective. So first, I'm going to it leads to speculation again, where you say he's paying women. So I'm wondering. I'm inclined to believe that he's paying escorts or call girls or prostitutes. I mean, this is Neo,
I mean,
mega superstar.
he could be paying what? He could be paying Instagram models. I have no idea who he's paying, but he's paying for sex. So, but the payment could be bags, could be trips, could be money. It could be a lot of things.
Mm. Yeah, see, again, a lot of speculation, and that's what happens when you are under public scrutiny. Your life is going to be lived under a microscope. Once those bright lights and the crowd starts screaming, that's what happens. So, okay, so they say men cheat for validation, something that they're not getting at home. So these two are successful in each of their fields. She's an entrepreneur and he is a entertainer, and they both have shown to be quite successful. So do you think that it may be due to a lack of quality time? Because they also have 3 children. That's what's reported. They have 3 children together.
They have 3 children together, and I believe he has 2 with someone else. Well, now maybe 3.
Mm. So again, men cheat for validation. Um, I don't know, Crystal. Well, so it said that she's a rather attractive woman.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah. So again, Neo, I don't know what you're looking for outside of that. It's like I don't. Some of my brethren, I think they don't know when they've already won. I mean, you have an attractive wife. She's also she makes her own money, so she brings that to the table. She's the mother of your children, so she deserves respect for that to begin with. So again, if he's cheating for validation, um, I can't say where it's needed because again, he seems to have a stellar woman. He has one of the seems that he has one of the pick of the crop, so to speak.
I guess so. I disagree with what you're saying. I mean, you're saying that it's for validation, but you're looking outside of yourself to validate yourself. Um, that's that you need therapy.
Yeah, and it seems like he's getting it in the form of sex.
So that's
So
not therapy.
that's an addiction.
That's addiction. That's exercise. That's a release, but that's not therapy. It can
So
be therapeutic, but it isn't
uh-huh.
therapy.
So he could be self-medicating in a sense.
Yeah, well, you're too old for that. So you need to look deep inside and get some help because you were with one woman that she wasn't good enough. You mess with the woman that you're with, and also all along this time you mess with other women, and you're looking for something in women that is missing from you. I don't buy the validation part.
So let's stay right there. So you said that he's too old for that. So let's think about it. Okay. So it said back in February of 2020, they was filing for divorce. That was the first time they did a split or something of sorts. And then they came back in April of 2022 and renewed their vows. So, and now here it is in August of 2022, they are allegedly uh, filing for divorce. So,
No.
do you think so? It's definitely a divorce.
She filed for divorce on Friday.
So that's a definite. So,
Yep.
do you think that Mr. Neal could be going through a midlife crisis that makes him seek validation outside of the his union because for whatever reason it may not even be the woman, it might just be him in a sense if he's going through a midlife crisis. Um, that's something that men do go through, and a lot of them don't admit to doing so. Sometimes men of wealth will go out and buy a motorcycle or a fast car or buy a yacht or buy lots of jewelry or do something totally crazy like go cliff diving or something like that. They start looking for the thrill.
Okay. Well, if you are a man and you're having some kind of midlife crisis, why continue on and get married, remarried, or renew your vows basically less than 3.5 months ago? Why go through all of that if you're feeling uncertain in yourself? And if you are having a midlife crisis, I mean, in the last 2 years, everybody's going through something. So I don't want to buy, you can't tell me that as an excuse.
All right, so let's talk about that within the last 2 years. Let's talk about these pandemic cheaters. So allegedly, Neo was creeping during Corona season. So again, I feel that that's a lack of respect for both your wife and your family because you're putting everybody at risk because you're going through something. And I think it may be easier if this is the person that you chose to live your life with, the mother of your children, your wife, for better or for worse, sickness and health, all that good stuff that they have you say at the altar when you're getting married before God and your friends and family. I don't understand why he wouldn't go to the same woman and tell her what he's experiencing, how he's feeling. I mean, communication is the key.
Absolutely. If you can't communicate, well, first, I feel like when you lie to yourself, because he knows that he doesn't want to be a married, faithful man. He knows that within himself. So if you're lying to yourself, of course you're gonna lie to other people. And you do nothing but harm to everybody who you lied to, including yourself. So everything falls on you. You have to do the work. You have to look inside of yourself and go, yeah, this isn't working for me. I thought that it could. But after 8 years, you should know that it's not your thing. You have an addiction, whatever your quote unquote excuse is. But I feel like it's ridiculous. You have to take some ownership and some stock in your life. You have hurt some woman that she may never fully be healed, and for whatever they're going through, whether it be prostitutes, children, just infidelity in itself is can break people. And then not to mention the children, you've messed up their home, and all for some pleasure of other women because you need to be validated.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
again, a conversation goes a long way, but let's talk about these side chicks. How much accountability, responsibility do they have in this situation because they know he's a married man, and some women will say this because I've heard, I'm not married, but I've heard conversations like this where the woman says he's married, I'm not. I don't owe her nothing. He owes her everything. He's not married to me. I'm not breaking my vows. He's breaking his vows. I'm not committing adultery. He's committing adultery. I'm not the one that's married. If he's going to pay for my time, why would I be a fool not to accept payment? How you feel about that?
I've heard that BS as women's excuse to not be accountable. Yes, he is the one who did take the vow, but you're helping him. He is the one who owes it to his wife, but you're helping him. So you can try to push that on him and take that burden or, you know, that sting that's associated with adultery off, but you still wear it. I don't give a damn how you try to slice it. It's still on you too, chick.
Okay, so apparently Neo is not the only one guilty of this behavior. You got the common folks, and you got other celebrities that been guilty of this behavior as well. So, do we know of any other men or entertainers or women that's guilty of this recently?
Oh, there's plenty. There's a gentleman by the name of Martel from what is it? He's on some kind of
Reality show?
Oprah reality show that he stepped out on his wife during COVID, the quarantine months, and his wife was pregnant. They're actually divorced now, but she was pregnant, and he went out and had his affair. So he, put his kids and his wife and his unborn child's health in jeopardy to creep. There's all these side relationships and babies. Is somebody who's not coming to mind right now besides him. The list
So
is long,
mm-hmm.
and it's
So
not
we
just quarantine.
all right. So let's go ahead and switch into the next subject. So apparently there should have been such a thing. I mean, during the corona season, it was still in it, despite what anybody else believes that the hardship has passed, that we're coming to the end of it. I don't believe so. So corona wasn't keeping men home, but corona coochie was getting men to flee their home in search of corona coochie. So let's talk about that. That must be such a fierce thing. Let's talk about, I think we was having a conversation recently about a clear understanding of when a woman receives a ticket for a trip. You want to talk about that?
Oh, being flown out. So the question, I guess, is if a man purchases said ticket to have you flown into town where he's at, is there strings attached to that ticket? And is the expectation, should the man even have that expectation? Just because you pay $200 for a ticket, are you entitled to sex? And just because she accepts the ticket, is she at the liberty to just have sex with the man because he flew her out? So there's that question.
Okay. So here's the answer from me as a fellow man. I would say this: if it is an all-inclusive, paid expense trip, and you're going to get all the amenities and everything else, including him, and he's going to be spending money on you too, I think that that should be understood before you even accept the ticket and the invite. I think women need to know their worth, and you need to know what you're in store for. Because if you're not having a conversation beforehand, then yeah, that's a problem. Because if you are showing up and this man has a clear understanding as far as he's concerned, I send for you, you bring everything that I want and I need. I'm gonna take care of everything else. Once you get here, you're going to take care of me. Now, if that conversation is had, then that woman knows what she's in store for, and so does he. Because what happens if she gets there and he's whining and dining her and he's spending all this money on her, and as they say, drops a bag on her, and now she decides that she's not going to produce. She's not going to offer him sex. She's not going to make herself readily available because we didn't have a conversation about that. How do you feel about women that put themselves out there like that?
Well, I mean, I agree with you that there should be a conversation before that is had. I think the reason why there's these issues is because it's not made clear. It's assumed if I buy the ticket and you accept, that is your confirmation of you agreeing that we're going to get together. But that's not always known. And I feel like the younger generation doesn't have, they don't know that. I feel like more so our generation, I was told if you don't go certain places if you don't plan on doing certain things. So if somebody tells you to come to their hotel room and you go there, it is an expectation that that's what you're going to do. And I feel like the younger generation doesn't have that knowledge or doesn't know that they put themselves in predicaments that could be avoided if they knew the signs or they seen it for what it is or talked about it. So I feel like that's why there's a lot of gray areas and issues and complications to these scenarios.
So, like it's a verbal contract. So, is a verbal contract binding?
I mean, legally, I don't think so. You just like they say, you have to get everything in writing. So, I mean, then that would be like text messages. It would be your receipts, I guess. Text messages, emails, whatever.
Well, you talk about text messages. If that's a receipt, and that's how most cheaters get caught, through their phone and emails and texts and pictures and stuff like that. I mean, again, if that's binding when it comes for this person breaching the contract, so to speak, it should be the same thing for these paid performers, so
excursions.
To speak.
Paid excursions.
Yeah, I'm trying to be politically correct, but it's prostitution. You're soliciting yourself. You're offering yourself up. So if I send for you, you are clear about what you're coming to do. So be it a celebrity, huh?
Is it prostitution? I have something that you want, so and you have something that I want. It's a bartering system. It's the oldest profession in the world, but I mean, is it really prostitution?
Well, if it's done out on the street and you're receiving a payment for it, I think legally it's called prostitution. So if all these women that are getting a bag, and they're bragging about it, I got this expensive bag, he brought me these expensive shoes, you're getting paid too. And eventually, you know, you're gonna have to come to terms with this. You're soliciting yourself. You're getting paid for it one way or the other. So he's paying for the coochie. And again, the receipt is he sent for you. You got some shoes, you got a bag, you probably got an outfit, you probably got a weekend stay. But here is the bigger picture. So for all the women that are being flown out, sent for to go meet up with these celebrities, the entertainers, the regular Joe Schmoes, the married men, and they're sending for you. At the end of the day or the end of the weekend, you got to go home. You can take your bag, you can take your shoes, you can take your memories, your pictures and stuff. You going home. This man is going home to his wife. And let's not get it twisted. Women do it too. They send for you. So is it wrong when a woman does it?
Of course, it's equally wrong. If you want to be single, be single. I don't understand this whole notion of be honest. And if a woman wants to keep you because the relationship works for her too, then that's fine. But if you want to be single, why wife somebody up so that you can play house in 2 different homes or 4 different homes or 8 different homes or whatever people are doing? It doesn't make any sense to me.
See, I think that a lot of our celebrities, our entertainers, they get caught up in the roles that they play in movies, the words that they're singing in their songs, the lyrics they recite in their raps, and they want to live up to it, or they think they are. So you get these people saying it's not tricking if you got it. Tricking is tricking.
That's true.
Tricking is tricking. It don't matter if it's somebody on the bottom of the rung, the bottom of the totem pole paying. You're still paying for it either way. But
I mean, I understand that there's all this temptation out there, and those entertainers, they have what regular people don't have thrown at them and offered in different situations. They have people who show up in their hotel rooms when they're on the road. But again, it's all about discipline and loyalty, and a lot of those attributes are just missing in a lot of people.
So I think this too, we get this whole definition of a player mixed up. Now, a definition of a player, as I see it, is I don't have to lie to you. I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to tell you what I want. You're going to tell me if this is something that you want to do. I'm not going to lie to you. If I want to just have sex with you, I'm going to tell you straight up, that's what I want from you. If I want something more than that, then we're going to have an extended conversation. But guaranteed, we will both know what is expected of one another before we even hook up, so to speak.
And I think that's the issue, is there is not a lot of honesty. There's lies and deceit and there's another word I'm looking for, but just lies and deceit, and there is no honesty, dishonesty. So if you build on that, your house is likely to, well, more likely than not, to crumble. So that is the issue. There isn't any honesty. People are not coming to people saying, this is what I believe, or this is what I want, and letting them make the decision. People are making decisions for other people and causing chaos and heartbreak and broken families and people to talk about people's business in public.
This is what I would say to dismiss Neo and his wife Crystal. Neo, you're gonna have to write some more love songs. You're gonna have to carry out some you're gonna have to humble yourself. Because you're gonna hear one of your hit records that you wrote for Beyonce, To the Left. Renee is probably, well, Crispin Renee is probably playing that song a lot. So you're gonna have to write a new love song, and because you're gonna have to make up to it. You're gonna have to do a lot of begging. You know how to beg. You do it in your songs. So go ahead and
Don't
get
beg.
down.
He's done. He's done. Don't even beg to her. As soon as a kid comes into the picture, you're done. So don't even try.
All right, let's talk about that briefly. So as a woman, any infidelity, um, is a child outside of y'all's union a deal breaker? Is that the nail in the
For
coffin?
me, yes. It
So,
is for me. It's for a lot of women because it's a constant reminder of you playing me like a fool in actual flesh, in the actual physical. So there's no like I can't ignore that. I can't look past that. I can't even pretend that it doesn't exist because it does. So yeah, it's a deal breaker.
so I think even on the male side, I think that's a deal breaker too. Most men
Oh,
won't say
absolutely. For
this.
men,
Most men won't say this, and a
for
lot of
men,
my
they wouldn't
brethren
even
are
have.
gonna be angry about this. But I think it would bring most men to their knees to find out that their woman has stepped out, had got pregnant, and she's keeping it. Now, there's been a lot of dudes that go through the process uncertain that the child that their woman is pregnant with is theirs. And they don't find out until the baby's born and it looked like somebody else other than you. Now, again, I have to say this to my brethren. I know that we think that we are great cheaters, but women are greater at it than us because there are some women that will have a 10-year affair and you will never be the wiser. They will go out, lie with that man, spend the day with that man, come home and lie down with you too, make you dinner and never miss a beat. And then when you find out she's cheating, you're devastated. So again, perhaps for all you cheaters, both men and women, you can't keep your penis in the pants and you can't keep your panties on. Perhaps y'all should partake in that open relationship where you become swingers. That way you're both getting what you want out of it. You're getting variety. Now, if again, for you all, you so-called players, bring that to that woman's attention and see what she says. But you got to be ready to deal with everything and anything that comes with that life.
Absolutely. And most men, they're not strong enough to deal with their woman with somebody else. So they would never give their significant other the opportunity to be with somebody else.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how men don't understand that the same hurt that you feel, women feel. I don't understand how that doesn't translate. Never
They say
understood.
men are visual, when it comes to attraction and stuff like that. So I think this is more devastating for the man too, because they visualize their woman being with someone else. And that's the part that brings them to their knees.
But
I
don't you
don't
think that women do the same thing? They can't get it out of their head. They see it, they hear it, they feel it. I don't understand how you think it's different. It's the same.
because once a man starts visualizing their woman being with another man or another woman, it brings about performance anxiety. They can't perform the way they used to be, the way they used to perform. I don't care how well endowed we are. It's just not happening once your head is taken out the game. No pun intended.
Uh-uh. Yeah,
But
no, women feel the same way. They're disgusted by it. They they tend to internalize it of like, what did I do, or how could I have been different, or whatever the case may be. And men don't do that. They don't think like, what's wrong with them? And even though it has nothing to do with that woman, men don't do that. Men don't turn it around on themselves, like, how, what did I do to make her run into the arms of another man? What, like, how am I lacking? They don't think that at all.
There's a such thing called is a statement, men cry in the dark. I think they do think it, but we're so masculine. We don't want that woman to see us grieving, crying, brought to our knees like that. So we'll go out and have that conversation with our male friends. But before we wrap up, as I said that I would, if I had to give Neo any advice, like I said, stop writing some love songs for this woman. Perhaps she'll take you back. But I would say get into the old dusties, get into those crates of old records and pull out some of those old school balladeers. You might want to get you some Barry White, because she don't want to hear your voice right now. It's crooning to her. You might have to get some Teddy Pendergrass, Keith Washington. You might need to get some Jodeci and beg her to stay. I mean, let JoJo and KC sing the words for you. I mean, just, you got to do something, because right now, my co-host said, you done, finito, stick a fork in you, you done. So what would you say to Miss Crystal Renee Smith if you had to give her any advice?
Tell him, like Chris Brown said, deuces.
And we'll see you next time on Next Subject.